I think that to use data and the data that is around here for multiple sources as an operator is of huge need for the future. As we need to better understand better and better why users choose for our network or not, there's a couple of things we need to do. And there is two areas where you have to see data and data usage in the smart analytics. First of all, is it how do you operate your best network? I think that on average 80% of the users of a mobile network use 2 base stations every day, not more. It would be good to know exactly how that is going forward through the week, through the year, through the month, whatever it is. So it's absolutely important to understand how it is used and what you do. The second part of it is, if we want to be better serving our customers, it would be very nice if we would know what they do, what they want, what they need. And there is a great number of data out there that you can use to better understand. So I believe that both of them we will use as an operator. The caveat of all of this is that there is a legal obligation, and there is a privacy law, there is a telecoms law, there is a network neutrality law, net neutrality law, that actually allows you limited use of data. So we have to actually, at the one side, know what we can do, and at the other side, what our customers want. And this is actually where we have to find a way in the middle. It will take a while, because like always, like Bill Gates said, we overestimate what can happen in 2 years, and we totally underestimate what can happen in 10 years. This is a thing that will actually add to KPN in 10 years, not in 2 years. Which it doesn't mean it's not important. It's crucial, because if you don't do it, you will miss it out. Now, like I said in my speech, we do not have a language that can tell you, that can explain what will happen in the future. So we are very bad at describing in language what's happening in the future. Like we said, there is this magic lantern, which was a projector, and we now have a smartphone, which is actually not a smartphone. The same is the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things doesn't describe well what it can mean, because what it can actually mean is, things can actually talk. We don't listen to it, but a refrigerator can tell you exactly it's too cold here or it's too warm here. It can talk to you. A car can tell you it's too cold in my engine or it is too hot in my engine, but we don't listen to it. Now, the Internet of Things is just a name we invented, because then we have another name. So we can, as the whole company, run around another thing. It's far more what it is going to be, which is important. Do I think there is revenues for us in there? Absolutely. At KPN, we are 9 months ahead of our first competitor. In the Netherlands, KPN competes with the strongest and the largest competitors in the world. We compete with Vodafone, we compete with T-Mobile, we compete with Liberty Media. We compete with Tele2. We always say Tele2 is a small company. Tele2 is actually owned by the richest family in Sweden. We are up to the toughest competition out there. And if we are 9 months ahead of all the other ones, it actually tells you we do something very good. That's what I'm very proud of. We started when the others were still waiting. We upgraded the network when the others were still counting their beans. We bought the frequencies and had the network upgraded, and that's why we could roll out faster than anybody else. That's entrepreneurship, that's taking the risk, which is normally something we don't often do. Very well done. Second, what should we have done better? We should have started earlier. It's difficult to come up with one, but if there would be one, I would say Mozilla Firefox. I would think that we are in an interim stage of operating systems. We are 1.5 billion users of smartphones. And as I told today, an iPhone is cheaper than toilet paper, because you use it 100,000 times in 2 years, 150 times a day, and you pay $600 to use it 100,000 times. I can tell you, that is not a lot of money. So it's a cheap thing, actually. However, there's only 1.5 billion people in the world that can afford currently a smartphone. So we have to make this smartphone a lot cheaper. The next 3 billion people will use a much cheaper smartphone based on Mozilla Firefox technology, which basically says don't use mobile apps, use internet apps. A Mozilla Firefox tablet, a Mozilla Firefox smartphone is giving you direct access to the internet and not through an operating system on the telephone. I think that's going to be an amazing technology used in India, used in China, South America, Africa, India, wherever. And from that, we'll get so many users, so many applications, it will conquer the world. We are in the Western world, which is different than India. It's different than South America. So we have to actually say, wait, but we have to closely look at it. Even in Holland and even in the rest of Europe. I mean, in Europe we have 30% of the people that are below an income that is decent. Do you really think these people can afford $600 for an iPhone? They will look at this also, I'm sure. We're in this moment which says, as an industry, so as operators, we were very busy the last 20 years with innovation in the network. Let's get ready for innovation on the network, because the broadband allows us to stop innovating within our company, innovate with others on top of our networks.